Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, so we're in for a treat today. We're going to talk about winning offers. And when it comes down to offers, this whole concept of whether it's a single offer or a multiple offer is another one of the many areas that I don't feel that we've, as agents, really received fair training on. I don't even like the word fair, but adequate would be a better word. And if you think about it, what what have you really been told about making offers from the time you start your career? Right? It's like if you're working with buyers, it's like, okay, get a pre-approval, make sure they're pre-approved, send your pre-approval, write your offer, and that what that actually creates is a thing called positional bartering, which is actually the lowest form of negotiation. So think about it. How many people are emotionally attached? Raise your hand if you feel people are emotionally attached to their homes. Yeah, all of us, right? And if you didn't raise your hand, you're probably not listening to what I'm saying. Just kidding, guys. So if you think about it, on one side, you have someone that's emotionally connected to their home. It has so much significance, it has so much meaning. And on the other side, you have the lovely world of us agents and buyers who are emotionally generally charged to move places and to do things, take out investors, and you're literally taking a position on their home. So I'm going to say this is, I'll use my kids, right? So if someone looked at my kids and be like, yeah, this is worth $1.2 million, closed in 45 days with a mortgage contingency and an inspection period of this, you just took a fixed position on something that means so much to somebody. And if you've ever seen irrational sellers in negotiations where they're just feel like, why won't they work with us? This is just a negotiation. To them, it's not that. You took something that had the most significance and meaning, like a home in their lives, and just put a fixed position on it. That's a concept I need you guys all to get to start this conversation. It is a bad way of doing business. Let's go to point number 2. If you're selling someone something, don't you want to know who the person is? And look, I will pre-frame this, speak with your sales manager. I know there's all kinds of different rules and regulations based on different municipalities, cities, states. And I encourage you just to make sure that what we're saying is correct for your market. I don't want anyone to violate the code of ethics or anything else like that. However, on the same token, what does a buyer or what does a seller really know about your buyer? They know that my name is Chirag Shah. I live in Westport, Connecticut, that I want to offer them $1.2 million on a house with a 45-day close, a mortgage contingency, and a 15-day inspection period or contingent on inspection, depending on your market. And some random person from some bank where people use well-known banks, unknown banks, AirPods said that I could afford $1.2 million. Do you think that really gives someone certainty and comfort, those two primary needs a brain has? No, it actually does not. So when you start thinking about this, now you're a person on the other side. Somebody's taken a position on your home that you know nothing about. And now you're expected to sell them this home based on these terms. And you don't even know who they are, where they work, how much money they make, what their credit score is. Think about it for my friends in New York City. Do you think a co-op board would ever let somebody live in a building without that information? No. If you're choosing between a mirage of buyers, who are you going to go with? The person that you feel the most comfortable and confident that can close? Or the person with just the biggest offer and a letter from some random bank that people can just automatically generate? Who are you going to go with? Your brain is primed to go with certainty and comfort. So what I want to walk you through today is a process that you can use. We have an amazing multiple offer template. I would use this for all offers. I made this template when I was an agent, and I think the thing has like a 95+% success rate. The last 2 houses I sold were both in multiple offers, and I used it and it works. We've had clients using this, I think, for 2 years and it works. So I want to share the template with you guys and walk you guys through it. And I encourage you to follow this format for every single offer that you make. There's a lot of behavioral psychology involved in this. And the entire thing is planned out so that the other person feels comfortable and confident with who your buyer is, and also the professionalism of you as an agent. Now, a couple of things to highlight. One, you're going to want to do this in Adobe and make sure all the pages are connected together. You'd be surprised at how sketchy some agents are and try to like move this stuff around. So like some people will try to put multiple attachments and then the agent will only send the offer part, not anything else. So let me just share my screen. Here we go. Okay. So if you look at this, thank you for taking the time to answer all of our questions and providing us with all the information necessary to make an offer. So we're already thanking the other agent, right? My buyers' names are Chirag and Valentina Shah, who thought out every detail that would make the seller transition easier for them. Down payment amount, mortgage contingency amount, offer amount, and insert anything else adding. These all reflect their love for the home and the seriousness in providing a simple and stress-free transaction. So this is essentially your cover letter, right? So if you keep going down based on their offer, contingent upon not making the highest and best situation, this is pretty much your positioning for the offer. So you're walking them through kind of like a high level what this all is. Now, offer to purchase. Thank you for allowing my clients to present their offer and answering all of our questions. My clients understand that your clients want. Insert 3 to 5 bullet points of what the agent has said is important to the seller. We also have another sample of like smooth and easy closing, buyer with excellent financials. We'll give that to you guys as well. I'd like to take a quick snapshot of my buyers. I would include putting their name, their credit score, potentially how much income they make, because this is now giving them a profile of who they are. They've worked at Morgan Stanley for 10 plus years. They have a salary of $400,000 plus a bonus. Because the thing is when you start thinking about what makes one thing different than the other, it's information. If there's a second buyer, I have the second buyer. My buyers are putting down pre-approved by and credit scores. And this is generally your offer, right? Purchase price, down payments. These are the positional terms. Contingencies, buyers, attorney, listing agent, notes, and additional points. So this is really what you're walking through, people, right? So this is the template we have, and there'll be a slightly modified version that you're going to get. I would say you'll get this one to start working on and looking at this and talking with you guys. There are a few more things that I want to add on that you guys can have by the end of the week when we give the summary. So let's talk about making an offer now and how does this really work? Number one, this is something that goes into your value proposition. Now think about it. We're talking about the world where you have to charge people for buyer's agent's commission. So one of the things that you guys have is your own process for making winning offers. And you're going to share with them the old version you have and the new version you have. Most agents engage in positional bartering. Our offering process is a strategic process that takes into the account of how we present you, what the seller needs are, and how we can most effectively position you over other buyers. Given this scenario in our market has many multiple offers, we need to ensure that we do the work upfront to properly portray your financials and your ability to execute. Now, if you're a buyer, that sounds pretty good, I think, right? It's actually something. So if you start taking all the things that we've been working on and putting them together, these all start becoming quantifiable buckets. And when you think about it, in all the different parts of the transaction, there's certain things that you can really lean on. But winning the offer is two parts. The first part is getting them aligned on what the market is and ask them this question. I like to call this situational hiring. Like when we hire people, we put them in common situations to see how they'd react. Now you can go through the past comps of 30, 60, 90 days, talk about a house that's active, go through a scenario where you talk about the properties that are in contract and what's closed. And then you ask the buyer, if you're buying this house and you could take one that closed and just say, take the close price out of it, what would you offer and why? Right then and there, you can see what their thought process is around negotiation. And they say, well, I'd offer 1-1. Well, the house is sold at 1-3 and the other homes were at 1-2-5, 1-2-7-5. What specifically would make you want to offer $150,000 less than what other buyers are willing to pay for homes, right? There's that word again. And then you'll see, well, I just need to try. I just want to negotiate, like all these different things. But right then and there, you could see what it is. And then when you go through the offer process, like, would you find it valuable if we were able to show you a strategic offer process and how we could position you to win the home that you want and set you up for success in a multiple offer scenario? Guys, this is all about putting this stuff together. Do you see how, raise your hand if you see how this is all coming together? Right? Look, and if you're just like, oh my God, Chirag, like this is a lot, that's okay too. You have to take the parts that you need to know and get started. Right? Sharing the market, a very important skill. The Med C, a very important skill. So when you're going back and these people are being difficult making an offer, that's where you go back and lean on the Med C. This is all about being able to position your buyer in a way that they stand out from everybody else. That's the whole purpose of this. And you'll find when you do this, agents will say thank you to you. So I want to just take a moment and pause because I've given you guys like an obscene amount of information in 12 minutes. Like this is a lot, right? I'm going to very much just acknowledge that. So let's go back to this process and look at it from the beginning. Originally, you're going to have your Med C. Then when you sit down and do your buyer consultation, you're going to acknowledge the Med C. You're going to talk about, you know, what the market is based on through the eyes of their goals and expectations. And then this becomes the next process, right? Like making the offer. All of these things in a perfect world, if you're offering a consulting service, you want to do with someone before. And if they ask you the question, which is the objection of why do I need to do this? It seems like a lot. We just want to go look at homes. And my question would be simple. Like, I completely understand you want to look at homes. Are you going to look at a home or win a home to live for you and your family? What do you want to do? Right? Are you going just to look at homes or do you want to go to win a home for you and your family? And so when you start seeing these types of things happen, the goal is to understand how people react and behave before you're out showing them 100 houses. That's a red flag. No, I just want to look at homes. And this is where you have to have the courage, I would say, to draw a boundary. I would say respectfully, this is the process that we use to win people homes. We want to make sure that this is a great experience to you. If we skip doing this, if we don't have any information, you know, my biggest concern is, as you said, that you wanted to move for blank and blank, and these were your expectations of an agent. I'm not going to be able to meet them because it's a terrible feeling we found with buyers is when they're excited to buy a home and all this information is given to them to make the largest purchase of their life. And really they have like an hour at times to make a decision. It's like, why wouldn't you tell me this stuff in the beginning? That I'm going to have to waive all my contingencies and inspections for informational purposes. And these are the things to look for. These are not the things to look for. If you want to buy a house in the market, you have to do practically everything besides giving up your firstborn child, right? Like these are things people need to know. And then as a professional, it's where you could draw a line and say, okay, is this a situation that you feel comfortable and confident going into? Tell me what you feel good about. Tell me what your challenges are. Do you know how much people appreciate this kind of professionalism? Now, let me go to the other side. Buyer calls you, hey, I want to look at homes. Great. I'm going to send you up for a collection. Which homes do you like? By the way, are you pre-approved? Yeah, I'll send you over my pre-approval letter. And now you're just out in the field looking at houses. Do you see the context of how different two people's experiences could potentially be? I love the show 24. I love Jack Bauer, but We are not Jack Bauer, and this isn't 24. We're not operating in real time with the clock ticking, trying to get all this stuff done. This literally is a 60 to 90-minute conversation. And I encourage all of you to start practicing doing this today and putting the parts of this together that you need. Because I'm telling you, that whole buyer agency thing, it's coming. You now have 2 judges that have deemed class action lawsuits. Something is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that all of you will be better prepared than everyone else. And this will be the opportunity for one of the largest shifts in market share and buyer agency that there humanly could be. Because when someone has to write a check to somebody, they're not just going to buy with their friend. Look, when it's a free service, it's really justifiable going with your sister, brother-in-law, friend, social person. When you're writing a $25,000, $30,000 check for a service, you're going to go with the person that has the most actualized value to you based on what someone shared. So who here? All right, I'm going to take an opportunity. Person, pull up the information that has the sheet that has everyone's information that they could find role play partners. Everyone needs to practice. I'd be a terrible coach if I was not like really pushing this on all of you. Remember, 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week is 2 hours a week, 8 hours a month. Think about that, the 300 days. Say you did it for 200 days. That's 100 hours. We need you to log in those 100 hours. So look at this sheet and click it and look at all the accountability partners. And it'll bring you to a platform. You have to log in and everything else. Can open the chat up. And I want to see how many people want to commit to doing this. And then whether you're practicing on your own, I'm going to share some steps that I'd like you guys to do today. Okay, so who can I count on today that has not done an accountability partner to go find one today and actually start practicing? They don't have to be in your same state. It just, when you're looking for this, whether it's escrow, non-escrow, it's actually having the conversation. So to get an accountability partner, you just have to see, some people are already in groups. So there's a form on there, and I'll have Herson in the last couple of minutes walk you guys all through this. So what you want to start doing in an effort to put all of these things together is, say, step 1, it's the Med C. Step 2, it's sharing the market. Step 2, at 3, it's the offer. Well, the offer is really important because you're making offers every day. So you should practice filling this form out and having the other person be the buyer. You need to practice asking the questions. Their agents, minus unless you're in New York City, buyers are not used to saying, hey, where do you work? How much do you make? What's your credit score? How long have you been there? Now, tonality in this is the most important thing. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And remember the golden rule: communication without context is miscommunication. So you should take one of these and fill them out and say, this is a strategy we use. This is why we, remember, your brain processes things, why, what, how. This is why we're doing it. This is what we're doing. And this is how we're doing it. So let me walk you through the dialogue. I would say to Darlene, hey, Darlene, I would ask the question, are you looking to look for homes? Are you looking to have a strategic plan to win a home? No, I'd like to win a home. Great. Would it be okay? Remember, you use the words, would it be okay? It makes the other person in control. Would it be okay if I could share with you our offer process that will position you strategically to win homes? And more importantly, if we are in a multiple offer situation, give you the best opportunity to stand out. And they're going to say, of course. And then you walk them through the thing. You have to walk them through a filled out form, and you just don't start asking questions, right? Like the old world of pre-approving, it's like, Great. Where are you looking to move? How soon do you want to be there? How much money do you have to put down? When have you been pre-approved? What are your must-haves for a home? What are your would-likes at home? It feels like an interrogation more than like a great collaborative process. So then what is it? You're going to say what this is this is our proprietary offer process. It's a thing that takes into behavioral psychology. It avoids positional bartering, where essentially we're taking a fixed position on something that someone could have a very high emotional attachment to, and it strategically makes you stand out amongst other buyers. Now, let me show you how this works, right? Here's why we're doing it. Here's what we're doing. Here's how we're doing it. And then you walk them through it. You're going to say the first part is a cover letter that really highlights at a high level, first and foremost, what the seller needs are and who you are as a buyer. The second part highlights the actual mechanics of an offer in the terms. The third one recaps the offer to the agent, and we put these all together in one submission so that the owner can really hear the context that we want. Right? They see the letter to the agent, they see the cover letter to you. If it's allowable in your market, you can put a personalized note in there. That's that whole writing a letter about somebody and fair housing. It's a market by market thing. I don't understand why someone can't talk about themselves and who they are and why they love a home, but I don't know. I'm not NAR. So the next part is going through it, and then it's the summary of the offer, and then it's the pre-approval last. The reason we put the pre-approval last is, they want to see that pre-approval, but they have to read through all the stuff. Somebody said this is my best session today. Thank you. So look, in doing this for all of you, I want to make sure, our team wants to make sure that you have strategic competitive advantages that are based on creating great experiences for everybody else. That's what this is all about. If you really focus on making something great for somebody else, that's where your entire business will grow. One of the things that people ask me often is, what do you do before these training sessions? What do you do before large events? Like, how do you prepare? There's actually only one thing I think about. Do you know what that is? I will close my eyes, or whether I'm listening to music, what it is, and I get hyper fixated on what the experience is like for all of you when you guys leave. How do you think? How do you feel? What do you do? Are you confident? How are you using it with your clients? The great things that could happen. Mike just says, I implemented this in my first 2 offers. I'm the first to listen to agents thank me for profusely putting such an organized and clear offer package together. We lost due to inspection committee. And the next offer is accepted immediately. By the way, you build a reputation of, hey, that's Mike Rivers, and that's the agent that always has all the stuff put together for his buyers. He's a great person to work with. So if you fixate the same way that I do on what happens for the next person, the experience you want to create, you're never going to lose. Never. Because even if the offers don't work or whatever happens, it doesn't matter, because they know that you're a professional, that it was based on strategy. And this is, by the way, how you retain your clients, right? It is by sharing the market the right way, not bringing them out on unrealistic expectations, caring about who they are through the Med-C. So Hersan, you here, can you unmute yourself?
Yep. Bye.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am not going to give you any more information today, as this is like a lot that we went through in one day. There's a such thing as information overwhelm, but I'm going to have him take Gretchen, shoot your question over. I want him to take the next few minutes and really facilitate everyone that wants to get in a role play group and an accountability group to sign up for the form and then take the next steps. Right? This is me closing you guys on joining accountability groups. So look, if you want to do it, he's going to stay on here. He's going to answer any questions about getting on it. We have 4 to 5 minutes. He'll stay on a couple minutes after if he has to, but it's really important that you guys do this. Consistency creates confidence. Momentum allows you to have multipliers. I would put this, if you send these through DocuSign, I put them in DocuSign. You have to remember this. Do not count on the fact that the agent will send this information to the other person, especially if they're representing somebody and buying a home and they're not doing any of this stuff, and they're not going to know how to do any of this stuff, because this is all stuff that we made. they're not going to send it. So I would put it together in one PDF. And I would say, can you please forward this on to your seller? I'm out with clients all day. I'll send a DocuSign over after. Right? Or just build it into the DocuSign. These forms on the offer platform, but I want to also make a slightly updated version as well based on some of the things we talked about. But you have enough to get started. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with Hersan. So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. Thank you all for being here. And please, please, please share your stories with us. Like, the best emails that you could send are the ones that say how you guys won. Like those are our favorite emails to get. So when you use an offer template and you won, share it with us. Share it with the group. Share your wins on the platform. Share them on your social. Well, don't share this on your social media. I won from a multiple offer template. Don't do that. Share them on your platform. Share them with your accountability. But please just get in the group. Please. There's changes coming. And when you're able to practice and do this, the confidence you'll have in the way that you show up will be something that'll change your entire life. I promise you. All right, everyone, have a great day. Hersan, on to you. Don't leave, everybody. I'm looking at the numbers here. Stay on and join the accountability group. All right, bye.
Great, thanks,
Hersan?
Shad. Yep, I'm here. Hey, everybody. So yeah, I'll repost the link to the accountability directory in the chat. So if you've already signed up and if you've already joined a group or done role playing with another member or members, you're probably all set at this point, but for everybody else who hasn't done so yet, feel free to review the instructions on that sign-up sheet. There's about 8 items that we request for contact information. So once you send that over to the playbook@chiragshahcoaching.com email, I'll be able to process that, get you up on the sign-up sheet, and then depending on what type of group you'd want to join, like through Zoom, accountability through Zoom, through workplace, through group text, etc. You can then start kind of seeing who is also a part of that kind of I guess kind of like what kind of accountability group they want to be in, and then you can start connecting with other members in the CSE program. So again, the sign-up sheet is in the chat. And if you have any questions with anything that you've submitted, or you have any contact information that you want to change after the fact as well, you can reach out to playbook@chiragshahcoaching.com, and I can take a look at that and make the updates as needed. Also, if anyone on this chat still remains and they notice that some of their previously submitted information from a few months ago, a few weeks ago, is outdated, yep, same applies. Feel free to reach out. I can make those changes and or add you or switch you over from any one of those tabs in the sign-up sheet as well. So if anybody has any other questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Otherwise, yeah, I look forward to everyone's submissions, and I'll get to those as soon as I get them for anyone who hasn't submitted any information just yet. And let's see, questions. Great, no questions. And yeah, email is, and I'll include it in here as well. So for any playbook related questions, whether it's platform, the resources, if you're having an issue with your account, for instance, the accountability sheet that we just shared here for signing up, feel free to reach out and I can take a look at that. Let's see, I'm looking at the list, how to research for her name. Yep. So once you're on that list, there'll be tabs at the bottom of the Google Sheet. So depending on the type of accountability group that you submitted your initial responses, that's where your name will be found. If for some reason it's not, and let's say you initially only submitted to be considered for the Zoom group session tab, but you want to be part of any others, again, feel free to let me know by reaching out to playbook@chiragshahcoaching.com, and then I'll be able to check your information from the initial submission and add it to or update any of the rows in the sheet as well. Let's see. Correct. Yeah. Once you submit your info, yes, you would be able to find your own group depending on what everyone else's submissions were at the time. Again, if anyone needs to update any of their information, now may be the time to do so. If you'd like to be part of a different group for consideration, yeah, I can go ahead and make those updates accordingly as soon as I get your email. Let's see. Yep, and I see. Yep, and if you have for the resources that were added today to the platform, both to the session pages and the resource library, if you open up the PDF in your preview, your computer's preview settings, and or you print it as a PDF, you'll be able to download it in the same way as well. So no need to have Adobe or any other program on your computer to view any PDFs. Let's see. Great. Yep. So any other questions? I'll keep an eye out for them in the playbook at chiragshahcoaching.com inbox. So feel free to email. Yeah, I'll see everyone in the next session. All right. Have a good one, everybody.